G'day and welcome to another big edition of the RDFNL A-Grade Netball Show. Thanks to our friends at On Time Delivery Solutions. I'm joined by Tara. What a fantastic opening week of finals we had.
It was. We had one massive upset there. Actually, probably two, because there was one in B grade as well, and there was a thriller out there at Romsey Park on Saturday. So I had a couple of thrillers across the competition and a couple of surprise wins.
Tell us about that B grade game on Saturday. It was a qualifying final. Tell us what happened there.
It was Macedon and Rupertswood. So Macedon had led for most of the game, and the Sharks came back, and for most of that last quarter, scores went from one team was winning, then the other team was winning, scores were level, and in the end it was the Cats who got up, and the Sharks had won every single game this year. So it was the Cats' first ever B grade win against Rupertswood, and then you had these two sides face off in an A grade final immediately afterwards, and it gave the Cats a lot of jump and a lot of atmosphere, knowing that their B grade side had such a good win, and then they took that into the A grade match.
Wow, well, let's talk about that A grade match between Macedon and Rupertswood. You would have had the opportunity to see it. How did that one go down?
Very one-sided. It was, into the match, we spoke last week about VNL and how that would impact. Macedon lucked out with the Sovereigns losing, so they had Chloe Wilson and Janelle Birch. Rupertswood lost Claire Johnson for VNL commitments, and she'll be out this week again with her side through to a grand final. Plus, they're also missing Prue Stanley with another commitment, so you're losing a lot of experience out of the side with those two players. And I thought the Cats dominated. They looked a lot faster, a lot cleaner, and they had a lot more height in that mid-court, and it really made an impact, and I thought the Cats absolutely dominated that contest.
Perhaps their biggest win of the year on the weekend, because we saw what happened last year, is you could have the best home and away season, but they went out in straight sets. I have no doubt that that would have been a key factor in their planning.
Look, I spoke to Kira Stewart about that before the game, and she basically said, we spoke about it once before the game.
Yep.
That was it, that we're not going to play the victims. We're going to go out, we're going to play our netball, and they did exactly that. So I thought their defence was really, really good. You had a lot of experience down there. You had Ty Covinger, who started in wing defence and then moved into centre. Janelle Birch and Katie Clark were both in the circle as well, and that their experience down in that defensive line really stood up and made it really hard for Rupertswood's attacking end to get going. And in the end, Rupertswood made a number of changes at both ends of the court. I think they had 4 different defenders, 3 different shooters, and they changed things around in that mid-court, looking to get the right combinations, but in the end they just couldn't get it to click.
Knowing what you know of Macedon, hypothetically, Chloe Wilson, Janelle Birch, 2 key players at either end of the court, they're tied up with VNL commitments. How does that team stack up?
Look, defensively, you could move Ty Coppinger into the circle, and I know they have had a number of their B grade players play up. It would have affected their B grade side. Ash Coxhill, I think it is, would have stepped up from B grade in that shooting circle, and that would have been my one concern, was the shooting circle. She's played a bit of netball with Kira in the goaling circle during the week down at Parkville, but I think that would have been the element for me, which was the concern. They had a lot of depth in that mid-court, so you could take Ty out of the mid-court, put her in defence, but it would have been that attacking end that would have been the concern for me.
And what if VNL didn't impact Rupo?
It'd be still hard. I think, look, Claire would have made a difference in that circle. I thought defensively they struggled a little bit, but in saying that, I thought Macedon played really well, and I think Macedon still would have got up.
Yep, fantastic analysis there. I want to turn our attention to, I don't care whatever happens across senior football and A-grade netball for the rest of the final series. We've had our biggest moment in the competition this year, with Rockbank having its first ever finals appearance in A-grade netball and having a big win against a team that, in my opinion, was a smoky for the premiership in terms of at least pushing Macedon. That was Rockbank winning by 2 goals.
I was watching this score. I was seeing the live scores on the Rams Facebook page, and the Rams were up in every quarter, but Wallen was coming back, and whether Wallen was going to get over the top of them. But in the end, the Rams were able to hold on. Both these sides weren't at full strength. We talk about VNL affecting Rupertswood. It also affected the Magpies. They lost Zoe Kransberg and Georgia Burkett, so it affected them there. But at the same time, the Rams were missing one of their defenders with Danny overseas on holiday, so both sides were missing defence. And in the end, the Rams were able to hold on. Their composure was really good. They were shocked to get the win. I spoke to Rianne, their captain, after the match, and she was just shocked. They didn't expect it. They were just happy to play finals. That's the first time they've ever played finals, and now to get a win, they were just ecstatic at that performance.
That's simply amazing, and as we have highlighted previously, they did lose their coach on the eve of the finals as well. which is never an easy thing. And then you look at the other side of it, Chris Cameron's done simply amazing things for that club this year in terms of Wallen's netball program.
It is, and look, they didn't have an A-grade side last year, and now they've come up and they finished third after the regular season. They'll be disappointed with that exit, though. As you said, that you saw them as a smoky for the premiership. I think a lot of other teams really rated them. I know, speaking with Di McCormack, the coach of Rupert's Wood the previous week, she said they rated them really highly. A lot of them rated Wallen that high that they just expected them to get through to that next stage. So I think it changes the face of the finals a little bit as well, because no one expected Rockbank to be in the final four.
Yeah, that's simply fantastic. And then to the other game, we had Romsey and Riddle. Now you highlighted last week, and it was confirmed. Thanks for the message. Romsey were able to account for Riddle. Riddle having 4 of their big guns out due to VNL.
It was, and it was heartbreaking to see Riddle's season sort of end that way. I know I was speaking to Lauren Close out on Saturday, and she was shattered. She was one of the 4, obviously Beck Caldwell, Alan Close and Maddie Wollmeyer, all couldn't play with their VNL side playing on Sunday in a prelim final. Heartbreaking for them, their VNL side lost as well.
No.
Not only did their local team lose, but also their VNL side, and Lauren was just shattered because she felt like she'd failed the team not being able to be there. But in the end, there wasn't much she could do, so they prepared for this. They brought a lot of players up, qualified them in B and C grade and B graders and under 19s up in that A grade side to try to account for that. They knew it was a possibility, but in the end, after the first quarter, the Redbacks were just too strong. And as I saw them a couple of weeks ago against Wood and Heskett, just that second half, their pressure is so strong. And I was speaking to their coach, Luke Marco Rollins, and he said that's the focus for them, is to put so much pressure on that in that second half, sides just break against them because they can't handle it for 3 or 4 quarters, and that was sort of the case there, and they ran away with an easy win.
Yeah, and certainly the layout of the land, so to speak, is with Rockbank's upset win over Wallen, it means that Romsey have got the double chance. It means that they get to play Macedon in week 2 of the finals, second semi-final action this Saturday.
It is for the Redbacks. They probably weren't expecting that, so that's a bonus for them. They've obviously they could have quite easily finished higher on the ladder. I think they've been in just about every single match they've been in. They lost quite a few thrillers as well. So for them, it's an opportunity. They probably didn't think. They've got a double shot, so they can throw everything at the Cats this week, knowing if we don't get up, they've still got another opportunity against either Rupert's Wood or Wallen the following week.
Now, did you see the old cliche of anything can happen in finals when you apply it to this game?
Look, I think what I saw of Macedon, I think they're going to be hard to beat, and that's the way it is. You'd need a strong performance from the Redbacks across the whole game, and they'd need to play 4 full quarters. They have tested the Cats on both occasions. I think the first time they lost by 6 goals and had been up at least half-time, if not three-quarter time, and it was 10 goals the second time. So they haven't been completely smashed by the Cats. They haven't been at full strength either in any of those games. So it'll be quite an interesting one, but I think the Cats will be too strong. Sunday's
game, a match-up, but I don't think... you would have been a brave person to expect this to happen, but Rupert's Wood and Rockbank in a first semi-final. There's no tomorrow for the loser, but geez, are the Rams a chance?
Look, you'd have to say they're a chance after their performance against Wallen. You look, Wallen smashed Rupert's Wood in that final round, and now they've got knocked off. So look, I think Rockbank rate Wallen higher than Rupert's Wood, and I know a few other teams have as well. So you look at that, they go, yeah, if we can knock off Wallen, can we knock off Rupert's Wood? Anything could happen. Rupert's Wood will be without Claire Johnson again, which I think is a massive loss for them. They do have a number of players that can run through that defensive lineup, but at the same time, Rams, you don't know what they can do. They've done it once. Can they do it a second time?
Well, yeah, if Lightning could strike twice, but it's not totally impossible. And if you go with favouritism here, you Macedon win their way through to a grand final. And then you could have Romsey and Rockbank in a preliminary final. Well, Rockbank haven't played badly against Romsey. In fact, they've pushed them. So, look, you just never know. Like, it's not impossible that they can make a grand final.
And we have seen in this competition in recent years, it's not always the top 2 sides that get through to a grand final.
Just look at Macedon last year.
But you look at that last year. Look, Melton Central's caused 2 upsets last year, coming from 6th. So it is possible. I think Rupert's will be too strong. I think they will get back on the winners list, but I think the Rams will push them.
I think it'll add an element of intrigue around the day, and hopefully it gets a few more people through the gate as well to watch this one. I think it'll be very, very fascinating. And look, we're gonna have the A grade netball for Rupert's Wood go head to head with the senior footy as well. So it's going to be a big day for the Rupert's Wood Football Netball Club on Sunday over at Romsey Park.
It is. They'll be making their second home out there at Romsey Park. They had both of them play out there last week, and you'll also also had the B grade netball there as well.
Yeah,
and
that's true.
Not sure where their C grade netball play, because their C grade netball got a win. And so I think their 19s will play on the Saturday, but where their C grade play, whether that's the Saturday or Sunday as well. But yeah, it'll be a cracker day out there.
Yeah, it should be absolutely fantastic. Well, thanks to our friends at On Time Delivery Solutions. Thank you for Tara jumping on board, and we'll catch you next week.